Up next, a visit to the Agricultural History Farm Park, a new Bikeshare program in Montgomery Parks, and hitting a bullseye at South Germantown Recreational Park. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Parks Wreck and Roll. Our first story today takes us to Durwood, Maryland. The 455-acre Agricultural History Farm Park is where the past, present, and future of Montgomery County farming is on display. Here's Program Manager Lisa Beret to tell us more about this unique place.
Well, we actually have two parts that are kind of distinctive at the farm park. We have the modern historic site, which is what part of the barn is that you see here. The historic site covers essentially the years 1780, when there was first farming here on the site, up until the 1960s, when the farm sold the property to the county. So we have that component that has a house, several outbuildings, the barn. We also have a demonstration garden, garden where we grow tobacco to show the earliest crops that we had growing here. And then we have the second part of the property, which is the modern part, and that's called the Agricultural Activity Center. And that space houses the Extension Office for the University of Maryland, several government offices like USDA, and our 4-H program for the county is headquartered there. So we have a lot of different things happening here at the farm. Also, with our modern part of the property, we have our Master Gardeners program for the county. So we have lots of demonstration gardens that can be visited and explored, along with all the historical aspects of the property, where we have heritage breed chickens, heritage breed pigs, and goats. And eventually we're going to work up to having more animals here that would have been representative of what was happening here in the peak of farming on this site.
It's great. It's great. They love chickens. We're working on having a farm someday ourselves, so this is great for them. They love it. It's awesome. It's cool that the Parks Department does this.
So it's this time of day when it's a little warmer, they enjoy a good cool down. Well, our pigs are new residents here at the farm, and they're a rare breed of heritage hog. They're actually quite endangered. They're called Ossabaw Island hogs. They were brought to the colonies in the 1600s by the Spanish and left on Ossabaw Island off of the coast of Georgia. And they're a smaller breed than the factory pigs that you see nowadays when you see 1,000+ pound pigs. These guys top out at about 250 pounds. And they're very social, they're very friendly, they've been hand raised, so they're really good representatives of their breed to the public. And we're going to be sharing more about them with the public as time goes by, because they're going to be our permanent pigs here at the farm.
Community programs are a staple at the farm park. These include animal-themed programs, music on the farm, hiking through history, children's story times, historical demonstrations, and the Harvest Festival. The Friends of the Agricultural History Farm Park offer a few events, including a gas and steam engine show, the Traditional Arts Blacksmith Show, and more.
The other thing that is ongoing is our Victory Garden that we have growing. We're focusing this year and next year on the centennial of World War I. And with that, we're looking at how the home front contributed to the war effort. So we're going to be talking about things like food conservation and the Victory Gardens, and just a variety of different programs that were happening to try to encourage people to conserve food and support our troops during World War I. The grounds of the farm are actually free to the public, and they're open 365 days a year from sunup until sunset. So we have picnic facilities available. You can always visit with the animals when they're out and about. We ask that people don't feed or try to pet the animals because that can kind of mess with their food intake and their dietary requirements. But please feel free to come out and visit the farm. Just take in the wonderful landscape and atmosphere that we have here, and just come out to Durwood and unwind for a little bit.
It is so important just to connect with nature, to understand that these farms are being preserved for, you know, the goodness of others, and that there's these natural open spaces just to run and feel creative and playful.
I like it because it's beautiful and you have the freedom to do whatever you would like.
For more information about the Agricultural History Farm Park, please go to aghistoryfarm.org. Did you know that the Montgomery County Department of Parks has an extensive trail system? One way to encourage patrons to use it for fitness and health is through a new Bikeshare program called Zagster. Let's find out more.
South Bikeshare is a national company that makes bikes available to municipalities, colleges, park systems for commuting purposes and recreational purposes. Right now we have 2 stations, one at Wheaton Regional Park with 5 bikes. One of them is an accessible bike, and the other station is here at Black Hill Regional Park where we have 5 bikes. Well, we've seen a growth all around the country of bike rental systems that are mostly similar to Capital Bikeshare, which is more commuter-based than it is recreational. But this system is strictly recreational oriented and is meant to be parks focused and located in our regional and recreational parks.
So how do you get started?
You need a credit card. Ideally, you have a smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, you can go through the process with a text-capable phone. The way it works is pretty simple. Once you download the app, you transmit this bike number, and they will provide you, Zagster will provide you with a code. It's an unlock code that you put into this keypad, and that unlocks the bike. If you're on a ride and you want to stop somewhere and lock the bike, you can use this cable, which goes right into the same lock that this cable went into, and then unlock it with your smartphone and be on your way. Adjusting the seat height is easy. It's like most bikes where you undo this latch, unscrew it, move the bike seat where you want it, and then just tighten this up and latch it. And they come with a bell and a light. The light is also on, always on. It's generated by the movement of the front wheel. And the basket.
One of the best things about the Zagster program in Montgomery Parks is the cost.
Partly because it's a taxpayer-funded program, it made sense for us to make the bikes available at no cost within certain limits. But we decided to cost it in a way that the first 2 hours are free, and every hour after that is $3 an hour. One of the things that we discovered early on in the process, and it seems this is typical of Zagster programs around the country, is they present an opportunity for local businesses to get some recognition, get some visibility through sponsorships. So through the Montgomery Parks Foundation, we're reaching out to local businesses and letting them know that there's space on the baskets and on the kiosks for their logos, so that we can give them some recognition, and that will also help offset the taxpayer cost of the program. Right now the stations are at Wheaton and Black Hill, but we have the ability because they're portable stations, to move them to other places within these parks or to other parks altogether, or to acquire more of them, depending on how this initial trial pilot program goes, though we've had a great response so far.
This brings together two really popular recreational activities, trails and bikes, and it allows you, if you go to Black Hills or Wheaton Regional, maybe you're there with your family and you hadn't planned on taking a bike ride, guess what? You can. It's a kind of the next wave of bike sharing in general, and it's cool to see the parks piloting it.
To find out more about the Bikeshare program in Montgomery Parks, go to montgomeryparks.org/bikeshare. Both Montgomery Parks and the Department of Recreation offer many classes to Montgomery County residents. In recent years, archery has become popular. We stopped by South Germantown Recreational Park, where instructor Jessica Rosick was teaching a beginner class.
The first day is a lot of range safety stuff. How to use the equipment safely, how to be safe on the range. And then in the following classes, I mean, they'll get it down, it's just after this, it's a reminder, like, hey, don't do that, don't do this, oh, okay, yeah, right. And then from here on out, the targets move a little further back and a little further back, and the class concludes with a balloon tournament. If you aim a little higher, you'll be perfect. Actually, I might give you
My mom looked up online and she looked up archery and she found this. It's a great experience.
So you don't have to bring anything. Of course, if you have your own bow, you're more than welcome to bring it. You can bring your own bows and your arrows and your gloves and whatever else. But the Montgomery Parks provides little compound bows. They're Genesis bows. It's a very common brand of beginner bows. And we have our own arrows, and of course we have our own targets, so you don't have to bring anything. So compounds came out, I believe, in the 60s and 70s for the first time, and really the idea of it is mechanical advantage. So it's got two wheels on either end. In this case, it's got one cam and one pulley, but these sort of compounds will teach you the basics of any kind of archery. There we go.
There we go.
Boy. So we have on top the idler cam. This is just a wheel. It's just, just holds all the strings in place. It's fine. You've got two limbs on either side of the bow, obviously. They're attached via this nut. And actually on these bows and many other compounds, is you tighten the nut, the bow weight gets heavier. So right now I think this is 10, 12 pounds, something like that. And like I said, these bows do go up to about 25. So the tighter you turn these nuts, the heavier the bow gets. In the center, we have the riser, and actually, since this is a lefty bow, it'll be on this side. So this is the center riser. It includes the grip. If you notice, there's a whole bunch of strings in here. This is the one that the arrow goes on. So it goes just below this nut here. And this piece over here keeps these strings out of the way of the arrow, the bow, the whole thing. It just keeps this off to the side, and it moves back and forth. So, I'm gonna try this one. On this one, not the free.
I like shooting stuff. Yeah, and this is my first time doing it, and I'm actually surprised I'm really good at it. And actually, I really like it. I'm glad I tried it.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for the kids, to just try different things. We love, the Montgomery County has these programs, and we try to have as many, to take them as many times as we can. So I think it's a great opportunity for us and for the children.
Yeah, it was something we had never done before, and my son kind of talked about it a little bit few times, and that's how we got interested. I said, yeah, let's do the parent-child class, and so far so good. It's been a good day so far.
After a certain point, it's a lot of dedication. You really have to get out and shoot every day, or at least once a week. But man, when you hit that bullseye from 20 yards out, which is your normal target archery range, when you hit that bullseye, it's just like the best feeling in the world. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of archer you are. If you've been trying and trying and trying and trying, and you nail it, and you're just like, that's it, I'm the best in the world, that was awesome.
To sign up for an archery class, go to activemontgomery.org. bikeshare.org. Classes run fall, spring, and summer. Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching.